Hello friends, this is Dr. Rajiv Gupta from SMT MD Patel Institute of Physical Science and Research, Anand. The course name is BSc Chemistry. The semester is 5th semester. The subject is Analytical Chemistry and its subject code is US05 CCHE24. The unit number second, which is chromatography first. In this lecture, I am going to talk about classification of chromatography and it is the part second of this lecture. This we have seen in previous lecture the syllabus of the unit second and what is the chromatography, its definition, and what is the phenomena in chromatography which takes place when we separate uh, our mixture using mobile phase and stationary phase. And then we see the classification of this chromatography technique that was based on uh, the interactions between sample component and stationary phase, and the second classification was the nature of or state of stationary phase and mobile phase. Then we see the partition chromatography, then paper chromatography, and in paper chromatography that we use filter paper, normal filter paper or ordinary filter paper or Waterman paper as a stationary phase where the water molecules or water small droplets which are present in voids or pores in this filter paper cellulose network that actually work as liquid stationary phase in paper chromatography. Then we see have seen two types of paper chromatographies: ascending chromatography, descending chromatographies, then RF values, and now we see the two-dimensional paper chromatography. See, sometimes when we use this technique to separate various coloring components present in mixture, then some components separated very accurately, very clearly, but some points we get in our chromatogram that a point contains more than one component, means after completion of experiment or complete we can say the complete experiment of paper chromatography, uh, we get various points, colored points, but some color points contains more than one compound or more than one component. So how we do, what we do that we apply two-dimensional chromatography where we turn this paper 90 degree and put this side in contact with other solvent, a suitable solvent which can separate these mixed points, these mixed component points. So this is the two-dimensional chromatography. So earlier we seen one dimensional where this movement is only one directional, but in this case it is two directional, means at first step we see one directional, and then when we turn this 90 degree, then we get further separation of these points at this side, and we get second uh, one dimensional. Now combinedly we can say that is a two dimensional chromatography. So what is said here, sometimes it is difficult to separate a complex mixture of substances. What are complex mixture means, only one solvent or one solvent mixture as mobile phase cannot work perfectly for all type of sample components which are present in our sample. So There are some components are present in our sample which have which show, we can say, which show very similar property, very similar behavior with that mobile phase, used mobile phase. So we have to change that mobile phase after this first one dimensional experiment. So we can separate these two components or three components which are present at a single point after separation. This complex mixture of substances by a single run with one solvent system. In such a case, a second run is required or carried out by a different solvent system. Okay, here the solvent system should be different or should be changed. If we use the same solvent which we use in first run, that cannot separate these two components which have almost similar property, which show almost similar property for that particular mobile phase. So we have to change the uh, solvent system in a direction of perpendicular to the first run. So this is the first run. See in this diagram, this is paper which is dipped in this solvent. This is the point of sample. When the experiment runs, then all components are separating here, but some components are even are very close on this paper. So what we do, we turn paper 90-degree clockwise or anti-clockwise, whatever we do, and use a different solvent. Then see, these red color component or pink color component uh, which are merged here, these are separated, these red color and pink color components. So this is the second run which is perpendicular to first run. This is referred to as two-dimensional chromatography, which enhances the separation of a mixture into individual components. So basically this type of technique is used for complex mixtures where many components have very similar properties for a particular mobile phase. Now significance of paper chromatography, what are the advantage disadvantage are here. Paper chromatography is a very easy, simple, rapid and highly efficient method of separation. Also it is a very cheap method, very cost effective method, easy, we can apply in any laboratory, and also can be used to teach students very easily what is chromatography technique. So it is very easy, simple, rapid and highly efficient method, can be applied even in microgram quantities of the sample. If our sample contains very low amount of quantities, if our sample is in micrograms, because we have to apply just a point, just a spot, just we have to apply just a single spot on this paper. So actually we require only very less amount of sample, so high amount of sample are not required. So it is also the advantage of this chromatography, because actually we are quantify qualitatively the sample components, because we can quantify the sample components here. This can also be used for the separation of a wide variety of materials like amino acids, oligopeptide sugars, oligosaccharides, glycoside purines, these all biomolecules, and also many other organic and inorganic molecules also can be separated using this paper chromatography technique. So this is also very good advantage where we can easily apply this technique in our very simple laboratory, not sophisticated instrument is required. So what are disadvantage of this paper chromatography is that it is not preferred for separating proteins or other polymers, because these proteins, or we can say polymers, simple polymers, generally are very less soluble or low soluble, very less soluble in many solvents, polar solvent or non-polar solvents. These are very low soluble, solubility is very low. So these cannot be easily separated on this using this paper chromatography. Also these proteins or other biopolymers are denatured using these type of solvents, because we use a mixture of solvent, generally we use can use a single solvent or mixture of solvent. So in the presence of these solvents, these proteins may lose their natural structure and can be denatured. Again, paper chromatography inferior to thin layer chromatography in resolving power. It is inferior, means the advanced technique in chromatography is thin layer chromatography, where we use very fine silica gel or alumina gel coating over a substrate. So these high porous material, high surface area material gives better separation or resolution of the sample compared to paper chromatography. Now the our next chromatography technique is thin layer chromatography, that is TLC. It is very popular chromatography technique in organic synthesis laboratory, where in regular basis we apply this to see the progress of a reaction, organic reaction or other type of reaction. It is a chromatography technique used to separate mixtures. This is the this thing is applied for all the type chromatographies. Involves a stationary phase consisting of a thin layer of adsorbent material. Okay, so it is a solid material, can be silica gel, alumina gel, which is form of aluminum oxide or cellulose. These powder materials, high surface area powder materials, will be immobilized or coated onto a flat inert carrier sheet. Inert carrier sheet could be a aluminum foil, or could be a any polymer substrate, or could be other even could be other type of paper that are coated or immobilized onto these type of inert sheets. So itself, this silica gel, aluminum oxide or cellulose coating over this inert sheet work as a thin layer. So here the thin layer is stationary phase. Okay, the thin layer is stationary phase, which work as adsorbent. So adsorbate, which will be a sample component, will be adsorbed on this silica gel or alumina gel, stationary phase. A liquid phase consisting of the solution to be separated, which is dissolved in an appropriate solvent. Here the sample, which contains more than one compounds, may be dissolved in a proper solvent. The solvent, which could be used also in this chromatography as mobile phase. So the dissolved sample uh, is drawn up plate via capillary action. This dissolved sample in this liquid phase will work as mobile phase, and it drawn up or goes up against gravity. If we see the ascending chromatography, the plate via capillary action, so it rises up due to capillary action and separating the solution based on the polarity of the components of the compound. Okay, so based on the polarity of the components in the sample, these are separated. Compounds which show more adsorption on silica gel or alumina gel, they travel slower, but which components show less interaction or less attractive force towards silica gel or alumina oxide, they travel faster with this solvent. TLC procedure. So what is the practical procedure to do experiment in laboratory? The process is similar to paper chromatography, with the advantage of faster runs, better separations, and the choice between different stationary phases. Means many things are very similar to paper chromatography, where we uh, made a small spot of solution containing the sample using a capillary or a small dropper, which is applied on this TLC plate over this coated material about 1 centimeter from the base. This actually depends upon our experiment what we do. Generally 1 centimeter above from the base. The plate is then dipped into suitable solvent, but before dipping this plate, first we completely dry our spot which contains a solvent. That solvents generally Used solvents generally are volatile in nature, so these are vaporized when we made a spot on these plate. Suitable solvent such as suitable solvent which work as mobile phase. The solvents such as hexane or ethyl acetate. These hexane or ethyl acetate generally both are non-polar and organic solvents and placed in a sealed container, because generally in TLC process organic compound mixture separation takes place. So generally we use organic solvents or organic solvent mixture as mobile phase. So actually here the silica gel or alumina gel stationary phase will be more polar, actually completely more polar than mobile phase. So these solvents are placed in a sealed container. Why we use sealed container? Because hexane, ethyl acetate are very volatile. So during experiment this may create very problem. So these are placed in a container which has covering over it. The solvent moves up the plate by capillary action and meets the sample mixture. When the sample mixture meets with this solvent, this sample mixture will be dissolved in this solvent and moves in up direction, which is dissolved and carried up the plate by the solvent. Different compounds in the sample mixture travel at different rates because the attractive forces between stationary phase and mobile phase, means sample molecules, are different. That is depend on their polarity, their non-polar or polar, semi-polar nature. These different components present in mixture are separated. So this is the simple diagram of TLC. What we see here, that this is the uh, solvent tank which actually will be covered with covering over. So this solvent, which is generally a volatile solvent, could not evaporate from this to atmosphere. Here this is the TLC plate, thin layer chromatography plate, over which a thin layer is immobilized over it, over this substrate, the thin layer of silica gel or alumina gel. Here the three spots are made, the sample spots. When this assembly is put for some time, here it is shown for 10 minutes, then this solvent moves in up direction against gravity, and these sample components dissolve in this solvent and moves in up direction, and it is divided into three parts. So this sample components has total three components: yellow colored, black, red colored, blue colored components. So these are separated. So according to this blue component has more adsorption property with stationary phase, or more interaction with stationary phase, but this yellow colored component has very less attractive forces with stationary phase, or we can say this is non-polar substance which is more solubilized in organic solvent. So this is the diagram. Basically we can observe this is the direction of flow of mobile phase from bottom to top side. Here we put a spot of mixture which contains many compounds. When it moves further in up direction, that these sample components are separated. The first spot which is appeared here, it is that compound which is more polar, and we know that the silica gel, alumina gel are also polar in nature. So polar interaction is high, polar attractive forces are high. So this spot or this organic compound travels slower due to this attraction with stationary phase. So this spot is more closer to this first spot. Now the second compound had more attraction to mobile phase compared to stationary phase, because it is more soluble in mobile phase, or we can say that it is more hydrophobic, or it is a hydrophilic component. So it moves faster due to less attraction with stationary phase but more attraction or more solubilization with mobile phase. So here we get this spot somewhat further than this initial spot. So this is the basic phenomena of TLC. Now significance of TLC, it is wide range used, includes determination of pigments a plant contains. Any plants which contains pigments can be determined, can be separated using this technique. Detection of pesticides or insecticides in food, identifying compounds present in a given substance, monitoring organic reactions. See, this is very useful in chemical organic synthesis, where during organic synthesis we take some small part from reaction mixture and put it on this TLC plate and see the product formation. If product is formed, then we get some points, some extra points compared to reactants, some extra points of products that were different compared to reactants. Now the advantages of TLC over paper chromatography. So these are the advantages of TLC over paper chromatography. In case of paper chromatography, it takes 14 to 16 hours. Actually this time depends on our sample and used solvent, but actually the average time period for paper chromatography is 14 to 16 hours. But in case of TLC it is only 3 to 4 hours. So it is time efficient, means in lesser time this experiment completes in case of TLC. TLC has the advantage that the corrosive reagents like sulfuric acid can also be used, which poses a limitation for the paper chromatography, because sulfuric acid may not degrade the stationary phase silica gel or alumina gel, but the sulfuric acid may damage the filter papers which are used in paper chromatography. So the stationary phase damage may occur when we use this type of strong acids, because these are corrosive in nature. So this is the advantage of TLC over paper chromatography. It is easier to separate and visualize the components by this method. Means we can say that the resolution which we get in TLC is very good compared to paper chromatography. It has the capacity to analyze multiple samples in a single run. Multiple samples in a single run means on a single plate, on a single TLC plate, we can put more than one spots at a time. More than one spot with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots we can make, and we can put it into a same solvent mixture, mobile phase, and we get the result. Because here the spreading of these sample components is very less, because the silica gel and alumina gel or other these type of materials are very fine in nature, and their spreading or spreading over this sheet is not happened in case of TLC. But if we use paper chromatography, then in this technique the sample components during traveling on stationary phase spreads irregularly, or we can say spreads or covers more space during movement. It is relatively low cost. So this TLC technique or TLC plates which we use, TLC plates are very low cost. Now adsorption chromatography. We have already seen what is adsorption. It is a surface phenomena where gas molecules or other molecules from liquid may show physical attractive interaction with a solid surface over a solid surface. So it is a surface phenomena. In this technique, the separation is based on the differences in adsorption at the surface of stationary medium. Means different sample components show different adsorption, different extent of adsorption over a single stationary phase. So due to this different type of interactions, they separated during experiment. The adsorbents such as silica gel, charcoal powder, calcium hydroxyapatite are packed into a column in a glass tube. Suppose if we are using column chromatography method, then these type of porous, highly porous surface area material will be packed into a column which may be made up of glass or other material. These serves as a stationary phase. So these type of materials always work as a stationary phase in any chromatography. The sample mixture is a solvent is loaded on this column. The sample mixture in a solvent, which is means which is already dissolved in a solvent, will be loaded on this column. The individual components, actually we are seeing here the example of column chromatography where adsorption is taking place over these stationary phases. The individual components get differently adsorbed onto the adsorbent. The elution is carried out by a buffer system which is mobile phase. The most weakly held fraction moves fastest, the followed by others. Okay, the most weakly held fraction moves fast means which shows less interaction with stationary phase moves fast, and which show less interaction that moves slow. Okay, according to the order of tightness in adsorption, the individual components come out of the column at different rates which may be separately collected and identified. So it is shown here a simple liquid chromatography technique where adsorption phenomena actually taking place, where we use column chromatography to separate various organic or other type of compound mixture in our chemical synthesis laboratory. Amino acids may be identified by ninhydrin colorimetric method. So this is the method when the different components are separated, then these are the some techniques which may identify these components which are present in our sample. And automated column chromatography apparatus fraction collector is frequently used nowadays. This is adsorption chromatography. In we can say here a column. This is a blank column which is filled with this stationary phase, silica gel, alumina gel. It is completely packed with this stationary phase. Now here a solvent is running, means we are conditioning or preparing the column. A solvent, perfect solvent mixture which is perfect for our unknown sample is used. Now this run is going ongoing. During this ongoing process we add our sample. This is which is shown in purple color, it is our sample which is in very low amount. The sample is put here, and again we put this organic solvent over this. When this solvent is adsorbed in this region, then we put further this organic solvent, and due to flow of this mobile phase, this organic compound mixture dissolved in this mobile phase and moves or travels inside the column and or percolates inside the stationary phase, and different components are separated. Suppose this contains two components which are shown here as red color and blue color, so these are separated. Red color component is moving faster, so it shows less interaction with stationary phase, and blue component travels slower. It means it shows more interaction or more adsorption over stationary phase. So this red component is eluted first and collected in a separate beaker, and then afterwards this blue component goes at this outlet and eluted from this column and separated or collected in a separate beaker, and both the components can be analyzed separately. Okay, so this is the simple column chromatography where a liquid is used as mobile phase. So it is, we can say, a column chromatography or liquid chromatography where adsorption is taking place. Now ion exchange chromatography. In ion exchange chromatography, it is also called ion chromatography only, is a process that allows the separation of ions and polar molecules based on the charge properties of the molecules. Okay, in ion exchange chromatography, it is a process that allows the separation of ions and polar molecules based on the charge properties of the molecules. It can be used for almost any kind of charged molecules, including large proteins, small nucleotides, and amino acids. The solution to be injected is usually called a sample, and the individual separated components are called analytes.